Alright, what's up everyone? This is Aaron at Boardscape. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to go over a couple Kickstarters that have started over the last week. And at first, we're going to take a look here at Nemo's War. Now, most of you, I assume, probably already know what Nemo's War is. It has been a majorly popular game, especially when it comes to single-player games. And this is a Kickstarter for both the new expansion as well as the Ultimate Edition. It has destroyed the pledge goal, making over 10 times as much as they need, making over 10 times as much as they needed, with over 4,700 backers, and I would not be surprised if this hits 400k by the end. It has about 7 days to go, so if you want to get on this, now is going to be the time. I'm going to quickly go through this and show you some of the new stuff that the expansion adds and what you get in the Ultimate Edition. I'm not really going to explain the game. There are 1,000 different videos out there for Nemo's War, both the first edition and the second edition, that you can go and watch if you want to know what Nemo's War is all about. One thing that I love about this campaign is right here, that it is benefiting Toys for Tots. That right there makes me want to go all in on this pledge. Because it says here, Tabletop Tycoon is donating a game to Toys for Tots for each game sold through this campaign. Now it has 4,700 backers, meaning that is over 4,700 games that they are going to be donating to Toys for Tots. Which in a year like this is just more and more necessary to be able to give back to the community in order to spread the love that we have both for children and board games. Now, obviously, they're not giving Nemo's War in this. They're going to give some of their smaller games. But still, the idea that they are doing this, I just absolutely love, and that right there makes me want to get the Ultimate Edition. I do not have the base game, so when we look at the expansion as well as the Ultimate Edition, know that I am probably going to be going all in on the Ultimate Edition. The base game is going to cost not the base game. The expansion is going to cost $30, and the Ultimate Edition, which comes with the base game of the second edition base game, all 3 expansions, and this new expansion. So the base game and 4 expansions for $89. Really not that bad. Especially if you don't already have Nemo's War. You're going to be spending $50 at least, usually, just for the base game. So if this is a game that you have wanted to get into in the past, again, now is the time. Get the Ultimate Edition. $90 gives you everything there is for Nemo's War. Now, we'll scroll down a little bit here to take a look at some of the new things that are given in this expansion. We have Nadine Dakar, who is actually Captain Nemo's son. And so he adds a new character, new attribute tiles, where Captain Nemo will be playing a little bit differently with him because he cannot die. He cannot be sacrificed. If Dakar dies, then the game is lost. Captain Nemo gives up. He's upset. So Nadine Dakar is going to be adding a new level in that regard for a new character. There's the basics of the new Nautilus upgrades with the map room, the war room, stern motives, 4 new final cards, 40 adventure cards, stuff that you would expect in an expansion like this. All new tokens and markers. And this is what gets me a little bit excited, and I hope that it pans out well. They are adding a competitive mode. For a game that has systematically been a single-player experience, they are adding a competitive mode where 2 people can go at it. They give you 2 ship minis, a wooden block, which I'm not really sure what that does. As I said, I don't have the base game. And 5 different versus cards. 5 cards in this competitive mode. So if you have always sort of backed out because, I don't know if I want just a single player game, again, now is the time to hop in. as you can get both the competitive and with this expansion, or get both the single player and in this expansion get the competitive mode where you can play 2-player. In the Ultimate Edition, as we said, it would cost about $150 retail to get everything, and you're getting it over $60 off, which is an amazing deal. If you are not a fan, if you end up not liking the game, playing through it a couple times, you can easily, I believe, get your money back on this game. This Ultimate Edition is always going to be going for $90+. Then it gives you everything that you get in the base game with your board, your characters, your adventure cards. You can come take a look at that if you want. I'm going to scroll down here to the add-ons. So, if you have the base game and you just want a couple of the expansions that are already out, you can get them for $9 a piece. For the first 3, $30 for the new one. Enamel pin, I'm sure some people like those. I've never understood the draw to them. But I like this. For $9, you can get cloth map versions of both the board and 2 tile bags. I'm not usually somebody that goes in on neoprene mats or cloth boards or any of those sorts of things, but for a game like this, if I'm going to be playing it a bunch, the cloth board seems like it might be a fun upgrade, especially at only being $9. Usually these neoprene mats, these expensive upgrades are $20, $30, $40, but for $9 you can get a cool little upgrade. So that's Nemo War Ultimate Edition. It has 7 days to go. If you're interested in Nemo War at all, get in on it while you can. Next, we have a fun little game, Momiji, which is almost like a... Momiji is a single or a solo to 4-player game of card collection where you will be looking to get these different colored leaves. We have 6 different leaves here. 4 shown here. Let's scroll down a little. And each leaf is numbered 1 through 5. Let's see if they show us the leaves here. So up here in the corners, we have numbers 1 through 5, I believe. Maybe it's 1 through 3. Yeah, so there's going to be numbered 1 through 3, and you are going to be trying to collect these sets of different colored leaves in order to finish your sets out, and once all your sets are complete, or all the leaf cards in the deck are gone, the game is over. Now there's a little bit more to it. There is different actions that you can take with your acorns that you'll be receiving. On your cards, you see these acorns on the bottom. If you match 2 of them up as you lay your cards side by side, then you end up getting an acorn that you can then use to buy or activate objective tokens. Everybody at the beginning of the game will have these 3 different activation cards, and you can also purchase more throughout the game with your acorns. So you'll be collecting leaves, playing cards, trying to match up your acorns while upping your... You'll be trying to match your acorns while increasing each of your cards from 0 to 3 in your piles. One thing that I like about this game is the add-ons. The add-ons give a couple modules to this game. So while it is a pretty basic game, there are 3 modules here, all of which are cheap. You can get all of them for about $15. One is the Falling Leaves module, which adds these cool leaf cutouts. The other is the Metal Leaf module, and none of these modules really tell us what they do yet. It might show us in the rule book that I've not taken a look at, but I'll leave that for you to take a look at. Then the Morning Dew module, which adds a whole new mechanic and brand new cards. I would say that if you are a fan of module games, such as Everdell, then this is almost a necessary add-on to get in order to switch up the game. Now, the base game is going to cost $19, but they also have the Deluxe Kickstarter edition that is $30. And I don't mind that, but what I do mind is with their stretch goals. I despise campaigns that break stretch goals into two different categories. And they have done that here. They have these green outlined cards, which will be added to the base pledge, and deluxe exclusive add-ons that will be added to the deluxe game. One of these is the Squirrel module, another module, which makes me feel like I have to order the deluxe game. I would prefer that they would not have anything added to the base game and add it all to the deluxe game. Now, I might be an outlier here, but I want to feel like I'm getting a little bit more than if I just get the base game. And right now, all I'm getting for my extra $10 is a Squirrel module. So in the deluxe game, we'll be getting so far the Squirrel module along with upgraded acorns and the Ancient Garden expansion, which adds a little bit more that you can get, such as these wooden animals and more cardboard tokens. Again, there's not much said about the Ancient Garden expansion, so I'm not sure exactly what all it adds or if it is necessary to get. This is not a game that I am going to back, but if I was going to, I would 100% get the deluxe edition, even just for these upgraded wooden acorns. I love the art in this game. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it's just not my kind of game. But it is a good deal for $30. You're going to be spending $25-$30 on the base game and retail, so you might as well get it now and get the deluxe edition. After this, we have Steven Rhodes Games, which is a collection of 3 small games, each with the Steven Rhodes Dynamite Games theme going. This old, almost arcade-looking or Atari, this almost Atari-looking These 3 games are in Atari-looking boxes and come with, if you get the Kickstarter, then you get this cool little slip cover that you can stick them in. And there's a nice 80s vibe going on here. Now, there's already over 800 backers, close to $50,000. I would expect this to break 100,000 by the time it's over. But let's take a quick look at these 3 different expansions, or not expansions, these 3 different games. You can get each of them for $20 a piece, or all 3 for $50 and save $10. The first one that we will look at is Let's Dig for Treasure. Now, this is a push your luck game where you will be drawing cards off of the top of a deck, hoping and pushing your luck, hoping to get the next good card that you need. There are combos in here, cards that give you points. But if you get 2 of these worm cards, or 1 of these evil skeletons, then you have pushed your luck too far, you've dug too far, and you must now get rid of all the cards that you just dug up this turn. You will be digging up cards, taking turns, quitting, letting the next person go, and so on and so forth until all the cards in the deck are gone, and then you add up your points to see who wins. Now, it has 120 cards in the game, in the box, and they have all sorts of these fun cards, including the sewer line that you can then give to somebody else and cover them in poop, the Squirms the Worm God card that makes your worms worth extra points. And again, the art on this is amazing. I want this for the art alone. Whoever has come up with this Worm God art, this kid covered in dookie, this purple skeleton, I don't know. I like the aesthetic. The second game is Let's Summon Demons, which is a combo game where you are trying to get out 3 different demons and collect 10 souls. The first person to get their 3 demons and 10 souls out wins. You'll be having all sorts of demons, including the Antichrist, Krampus, Porcus. Everybody will be getting these evil candles along with these different cards that you can then sacrifice in order to get your demons out. The kids on the block. You got Sweet Chuck, a Rabid Dog, Eve, Rotten Calvin. All these kids that you are sacrificing from your hand, aka discarding, in order to play a demon. Now this is not something up my alley, but you will be, again, looking for combos between your evil candle, the cards that you play, and the demons that you play. The third game is Don't Talk to Strangers, a game about aliens invading your town. And this seems like a fun little game where you will be starting in the school and playing cards from your hand, trying to get your kids to these different locations. The library, different homes, a mansion, the pool. You're trying to get them all over town, playing cards such as Run, that lets you move 2 spaces, Kids on a Bike, that lets you move through strangers with this. So connecting buses, all sorts of ways to move around the town, running around trying to get to these different locations. Now, one of the most important things is that they also have cards. Do they show it? No. But the stranger cards. Where if you are on a space with an alien head, a stranger, and somebody else plays a stranger card, then that stranger will suck up your character, your little child, and they will be gone. And you will have to start over. But it also blocks that area off. So if I am trying to get over here to the south end home, at the start of the game, I can just go straight across. However, if somebody plays a stranger card and blocks off this area, then I have to either go down and around or up and around. They might even block off a spot like this, the mansion, that you can no longer move through unless you have a card like the bike that lets you move through strangers. So again, a fun little card, a fun little game where you are playing different cards, trying to get to different locations, and whoever gets the most kids to the most locations, you add up your points at the end after 7 rounds, and that's the game. There's really nothing special about these 3 games, but they are quick, fun games that you might want to play with your friends or your family. Maybe not the demon one, but again, that's me. And if you order on the Kickstarter, then you get a couple extra little cards. Let's Dig Through Treasure gives you a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle version of where they're worms. The Let's Summon Demons gives you the Voodoo Demon Queen that you can play. And Don't Talk to Strangers gives you the Strange Pod card that you then can play. There are a couple stretch goals. They've only reached 1, which is for the Strangers game that adds a heroic dog to the game. So if this is something that interests you, again, $20 a game or $50 for all 3 really is not that bad, especially when it comes to Kickstarter games. Next up we have Twinkle, which is a space building or a constellation space building game that can be fun for the whole family. It's not quite reached its pledge goal yet, has 138 backers, 18 days to go. It will reach its pledge goal, so you don't really have to worry about that. But I like the abstractness of this game as you are building out your constellation. Every turn, so here's a picture of the constellation, you will be using different dice throughout the game. Each player will have it's up to 4 players, and each player will have 2 different stars to start their constellation. As you play, you will be drafting dice from the middle, from the top, and adding one of them to your constellation. Now we can see down here that each constellation, or each star, can start 2 different dice. Now the fun, crazy thing about this abstract game is that in order to continue building onto your dice, you must then connect a die to another one that has a lower result. So here we started with a 10, now they've connected an 8. In order to connect to that next, they have to play something with a 7 or lower. Same with these. In order to play from here on, you have to play something 8 or lower, or from the 7, you have to play a 6 or lower. So you are trying to keep your constellation going, adding the most that you can by playing bigger by playing the bigger dice at the beginning. Now you can also try to twinkle your dice and boost your score by adding a dice that has more sides than the one before it. So we see here that it has a 6 and they played a 4, so that's a legal move. But this 6 is on a 6-sided die, and this 4 is on a 10-sided die, meaning they have twinkled. They have added a star that is bigger in their constellation than the one before, and it twinkles in the night sky, adding a little bit of fun to your constellation. And you get more points for that. So you're always looking at the numbers on the die as well as how many sides are on the dice. Now each dice scores a little differently, so you'll also be looking at that. At the end of 7 rounds, the final score begins, and you'll be adding up your dice based off of the cards at the top, telling you how many points you get. They also have mission cards, silver missions, different ways to change up the game and add a little more to it. If you're interested, you can look at the PDF rulebook. They have a couple different sites that have already given a rundown of the game. But as far as abstract games go, this one is more up my alley than any others, and it's only going to cost $37. So again, not really that bad for a game like this. I don't think that it'll really hold its value. You might be able to pick it up in a year, 2 years down the road on the BGG market for maybe $20. So it's more an issue of, do you want it now, or are you willing to wait until later in order to pick it up cheaper? But it does look like a fun little game. Our final game today is going to be the Saloon Showdown, which has reached its pledge goal. This is a quick game where you are in a saloon fighting against each other, trying to duel and gain money, and it's going to cost $30, or a deluxe version that comes with the expansion for $60. If I was to get this, I would just stick with the $30 standard, but that's me. And in this game, you are going to be playing a cowboy. And you, on your turn, will have 3 different actions that you can pick from. First, you can gather money by adding up the different, first you can draw a card or collect loot by adding up your cards at the bottom and getting those rewards. Outside of drawing a card or collecting loot, you can challenge somebody to a duel. You can threaten them. Do you feel lucky? And you can either say, and you, or you're bluffing. You either believe them or you don't. If they doubt you, if you challenge your friend and they doubt you, then you are going to have a confrontation where you reveal your cards. And on the bottom are bullets. Whoever has more bullets on the bottom of their cards wins and gets $20 from the other person. If they don't doubt you and they believe you, then you go on to a duel. And what does it mean to not believe you? If you don't think that you can win, if you don't think that you have, like if I have this top hand here, I have 3 bullets, I don't think that's going to be a very wise move to try to fight because I'm going to lose $20 for sure. I don't have a lot of bullets, so I'll believe you. You're going to win this fight, so instead we will go to a duel. In the duel, you will get 3 new cards and have to try to match up. You have 3 cards face down, and when the dealer says go, you will flip all 3 over, and the first person to shout out the 3 correct parameters will win the duel. So it's whoever can look at their cards and process fastest will win the duel. Now the 3 things that you're looking at are the color of the gun, so blam, bang, these different colors, yellow, blue. Also going to be looking at the location that they are shooting at and what the words say. So in this scenario here, the first person to take the blue gun, shout bang, because there are more blues here, so that they grab the blue gun, shout bang, because there are 2 bangs and 1 blam, and shoot your friend in the head, because there are 2 headshots and 1 leg shot, then you win. I'm not a big fan of this, primarily because this seems like a fun game that you could play with younger kids, and I'm not a fan of them aiming at somebody and shooting a gun. Now, I might be old-fashioned, and I understand that these kids are playing games like Call of Duty, playing games like Grand Theft Auto. I get it. I work in the school district. I hear about it every single day. But I believe that there is a difference between picking up a toy gun or a paper gun, aiming it at somebody's head, and saying bang, But I believe that there is a difference between picking up a paper gun or a toy gun, aiming it at somebody's head and saying bang, opposed to using a trigger or moving your thumbstick in a video game. But again, that's me. If you don't see that as a problem, then that's fine. I just personally would not use this with younger kids, or if I do, I would just have them shout headshot instead of aiming at the head and saying head. So it's an easy solution, just I would change it up a little bit. I would house rule it. Now the first person to reach $130 wins the game. So, they also have a solo mode and a couple previews that you can look at. But there's one thing that I would want to look at, which is the add-on. These 2 add-ons I don't really care about, a loot bag and some honorable dual pack stuff, whatever. But for $6 or maybe closer to $7 or $8, you get this cool cardboard bank. If I was to get this game, I would get this bank 100%. It's not expensive, it'll add a lot of table presence, and it's an easy way to hold the money as you set it up, rather than just having it strewn all over the table. So, bank $6, not a bad deal. Again, a very simple, easy, quick game. $30, not bad. With the bank, maybe closer to 40. Not something that's going to hold its value. Again, you might be able to pick this up for 10, 15, 20 bucks later down the road, but it's an issue of whether you want it now or later. So those are the Kickstarters of this week. Nothing too exciting except Nemo's War, but always fun to look at some of the lower, but always fun to look at the smaller games as well, especially when they're not overshadowed by giant big Kickstarters of the week. So if you find this content helpful, then please subscribe, please hit like, and thank you very much. And have a good day.